Do you want to tell us about what happened before the second time we went? Sum up.
So, like, the activity beforehand.
Why did we go back to York? For anyone who hasn't watched this, who's just tuned in and not seen our adventures up to now, what was the synopsis?
So, we went back because it was the only case that we ran away from, basically.
Yeah.
We had booked the location for 2 nights, and the first night it was just me, Sue and Jane, so just us 3 team members, and then you came on the Saturday night. We were really scared the first night because we met a spirit called Ursula who said that she'd been the maid or servant at the house, and she'd been, I think, killed by Sam or his wife, and that she'd had a baby that was also murdered. And then we were getting warnings that this Sam character was going to, stop us breathing in our sleep. This was all through the Ouija board, and we were getting a lot of activity like bangs and things, and then you came on the Saturday and we all got really scared and we left in the back of your van, didn't we?
Yeah, I was shocked at the ramp up from what we normally used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Do you feel it was the right thing to do at that time?
Yeah, because we obviously felt so strongly about how scared we were, but I think it just speaks to how not inexperienced, I don't know if that's the right word. I think we've come a lot further since then, and I don't think we'd ever leave any location now.
I think it's a different understanding now, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes you think you've learned all there is to know, and I kind of felt like that after this last weekend when we went there again.
I suppose the thing as well, like, if there was only 3 of you, I think depending, if it'd been any 3 of us, if something is major happening beyond your control, I think with that number of people, I think any of us had probably felt it, maybe even you as well. Do you know when you just don't quite know what's going to happen?
Yeah.
With only 3 of you there, was it, because you feed off each other, don't you, as well?
Absolutely.
Once someone loses it,
Yeah.
I think it has a knock-on effect, and yeah. But the house in itself, aside from paranormal things, the house in itself is very, it's very small. The floors are slanted, the walls are at a funny angle. It's very oppressive.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we didn't consider that maybe 30% of it was that.
Yeah.
But the fear that we were getting from the energy around us, I don't think I've ever felt anything like that before. So that was 4 years ago that we first went. And then COVID happened and stuff. I think we booked it, didn't we, at one point to go?
It
fell through, all that stuff. And then we just felt like we had to revisit because Sam, who scared us to death into running away that time, kept on coming through on the board no matter where we were. We could be in a graveyard, in a warehouse, wherever he would come through. So we kind of had unfinished business, I think, didn't we? And we needed to find more out about who he was, why he was the way that he was, because he's quite an intimidating character. And yeah, we had unfinished business, and I think we wanted to survive the weekend to show ourselves that we're better investigators than we were 4 years ago, and I think we proved that, definitely.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right, it was unfinished business. It was like this, we got to that little investigation and it was like, this is beyond what we know how to deal with. Even I was like that. You were saying, you made a comment there, what made me think, inside I was like, I don't know what's going to happen next, and I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Jane had once said to me, what is the protocol if one of us gets possessed or one of us gets hurt? And I just shrugged.
Yeah.
I'm like, there isn't one. Hey,
I think,
isn't that good?
Is there now?
There's a lot more now. I think. We'll
I think
get to
we'd
that.
we'd still all
I think
like.
you two would get excited, and one of us would be sacrificed.
No, I think there's certainly a change in our approach from here.
I think we'd be more confident.
Yes.
It'd catch us off guard. I think it would anyone, but I think we're more confident that we'd have conviction in any banishing prayers we were doing, because obviously we had to do that this past weekend. It would be new territory though.
Some things have now we actually have a story, be it like spells, symbols.
Yeah.
We're like, actually, it's not all in the dark. I have some experience in this. That's the change, I think.
I think if that experience had been now, even if you took Sam out of the equation, being, you know, what, taking us where he has over the last whatever, I think people have just progressed to the point of like, you probably would have taken it, you probably would have been able to handle it better than at that point 3-4 years ago.
4 years ago, this was an unknown presence that had more power than we'd ever experienced, and that was a big threat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas upon the 4 years of him coming through and talking to us, we were used to talking to him.
Yeah.
And he was always really good for activity, making things happen. But and it was like, we need to go back.
Yeah.
Bringing us to, it was going to be your first time there, this second visit. So how did you actually feel going to a place you'd heard us nattering about?
I think my main concern was, because of being an initial member, was Sue leaving.
Yeah.
The fact that Sue had left made me feel uneasy, because I know what she's like. And obviously you didn't have the full experience.
No.
But I think I was more unnerved by it because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sue's not the kind to leave.
For her to do that, then I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I think you said as well,
yeah,
at the time when it happened, what got to you was hearing Sue make the phone call to... we were all contacting our partners and being like, you might expect that I'm going to be home a little bit early. And hearing Sue be like, I think I'm going to leave this place was a bit different.
That was unnerving. I didn't
Could
know
you not change the minds?
I couldn't, no. As much as I kept saying, come on, that's what we've come for.
Yeah.
But I knew I wasn't staying. And they were
Well, you're not staying the second night either.
I paid
still
no
going
money in. I was purely visiting.
Yeah.
You know, I'd made no preparations. No.
Chris was sort of just coming to do an investigation and then go home, and we were going to sleep yet again in that bed. And it still gave me the creeps this time around. I still got a weird vibe in that bedroom, and I struggled to get to sleep at some points. And but
you didn't trust me.
No, there was one point I woke up in the middle of the night and you two were both asleep, and I was just staring at that curtain that was right next to my side of the bed.
You were obsessed with it.
I just kept thinking to someone, we're going to go like that around it. So I kept keeping my eyes shut, and then I'd have a peep and I was just playing that game with my own mind.
I think that
for a
was
while.
the weird thing about it, was I don't know what it was like for you and Vex, but if you woke up thinking, am I the only one awake? Is it just me?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was, but I think a house that's, 600 years old, I think.
Meant to be the oldest in York, which is a big claim.
I think it's probably because there was
it's
the Norman
street or something.
Yeah, it was the main street to take stone. That's why it's called Stonegate. To take the stone to the minster to build it, and they built that little Norman church that was in the courtyard. So what I think is they probably just built a bit of a house for the monks or whatever to live in.
So it's just expanded from there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the history that's in those walls, because I do believe that places hold energy from over the years, whether that makes it haunted or whether it just makes it, a retainer of certain energies. I think you can feel that when you walk into that house. It's like so much over the years must have happened in that place.
Yeah.
And you're aware of it as well.
I didn't get it.
No?
No.
Oh, I did.
No, I didn't.
I mean,
and that is a weird thing. I mean, maybe more for the end, but I didn't all weekend.
Did you not? Did you just feel like you're in a little holiday?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I did, but at the end of the weekend I was like, right, okay.
But you were still unnerved.
At times,
is that because of what we were doing?
Yeah, probably.
If we were just sat watching a movie,
I don't think it bothered me.
No. Through the day, because we stayed the 2 nights, the middle day, we were just sat around going, well, it's just a normal house.
That's it,
After the first night. But there was the anticipation, wasn't there, on the journey there, thinking, what will we encounter?
Yeah.
And then you and Becky, who hadn't been at all before, entered and looked around. I haven't seen the footage yet, but you walked around. So you two and Sue were upstairs in the 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
So my sister and I were in the lounge, pretty much on the floor. And I didn't feel threatened by it because I'd never personally been threatened by Sam in the lead up. But night one, the first spirit we got was Norma.
Yeah.
The little girl just said lost shoe or
Lost
shoe.
shoe.
But she said lost, didn't
Or
she?
where's my shoe?
Where's
Was
my
it?
shoe?
Something like that.
Yeah, where's my shoe or something. Yeah.
We found it comical.
Yeah.
Quite.
Yeah, we were just like, what are you on
Like,
about?
what about a
Yeah.
lost shoe?
Yeah.
And then I think we got the name Norma
Yeah.
and Hatman.
Red shoe.
Hatman.
Yeah.
And I think they mentioned a place as well where she was from, and Sue recognised it from now living in the York area.
Yeah.
She says, oh, that is
Yeah.
a place.
Yeah.
So we feed back to our friend Si and the live streamers, and then on the comments on the phone, we spotted. So we sort of scrolled back.
It was a full name,
Someone gave
wasn't
a full
it?
name, didn't they? Because I was heading down a different line
Right.
with it. I can't remember the way we were going. But yes, I was looking in a different direction to where we ended up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think someone in the comments on the stream had put this. It was Norma. Was it Dale?
Dale.
Norma something Dale.
Yeah.
And something about the red shoe. Or something. I don't know.
It was called the
Just
Red
the full
Shoe
name.
Murder
That's
Case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jill wasn't on the board, so it was very, I think, compelling even more that Jill was asking questions to the spirit, and we were the only ones with our fingers on the glass, and we were getting answers that Jill was able to be like, yeah.
Yeah, once you had the article.
Sayed sent me over the full article. And when you try to think that you're still potentially speaking to a 5-year-old, you've got to, you're only going to get certain information out of him. You know, so it was kind of like picking up on the bits of what she would be able to tell us. And yeah, she
There's a DVD falling over.
she was just bob on with what we could ask her.
Yeah.
That she could answer within it, you know, for her age.
Yeah.
Well, she'd have thrown out the number 46, and then the year she obviously got murdered, it turned out, was 46, and we were like, oh, right, that's a thing. Yeah. It's from a comical lost shoe, it turned quite dark.
Yeah.
And it's still an open case that the cousin was looking into. And by the end of that, with us being blown away, I just felt compelled to get in touch with the family, but I couldn't really find a way. All I could find is that article. So I messaged the Daily Mail, who had closed comments on that article. And they haven't got back to me, and I don't blame them for thinking, here we go again.
That's the risk, isn't it? It's
like,
you contact someone and you're like, oh, I was on a Ouija board, and they just think...
Or I'm
crazy.
a medium and I know where the dead body is. It's just like, oh, here we go. You can't follow up all these crackpots, and I totally get that.
There is a lot of them.
It was the way as well, the fact that it was a child telling us what she did that corroborated a story that you could have read and wouldn't have made you feel anything. It was the way I think the story affected us all differently. A little bit, do you know what I mean? You know, it's like, yes, great evidence kind of thing. But there was also that undertone of, oh, bless.
Yeah.
You know, how tragic kind of thing. And I think at the time when we all, you know, when we stopped filming, I think we all just sat there and kind of just took a moment.
We were just sort of like, wow.
Yeah.
That happened. That really happened to us.
To a soul,
Yeah. That is, I know it's 1946, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like that was real life now. Do you know what I mean? You know, around that time, my parents would have been around the same age as her kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and you just think, that happened then. There's still things like that happening now.
Yeah.
The same kind of stories, the same unsolved police cases. You know, although it was, like I said, 1946, it was still very... almost like relevant.
Yeah, there's still people alive that will probably remember it happening or know a family.
Family's looking for the evidence.
Yeah, it is different to when something comes through that might have happened in the 1700s and they say, oh, this happened. And you kind of distance, you've got that distance, haven't you? But that was way more closer to home, I think.
It's like, I suppose it's that thing in it, like, say, you felt compelled to contact someone because...
Well, it's like she was
almost
saying,
like you could give somebody a little bit more information about something.
On the article, it was like...
Most things, it's not, is it? Do you know what I mean?
There were gaps, weren't there?
Yeah.
It's like the cousin knows that there was a lorry involved. She already said lorry.
Yeah.
And where she'd been found, and she tells us who found us, who found her.
Yeah.
And then it's the cousin who's looking for answers, and you're like, she's just told us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But how do you say, we know that the dad did it?
Yeah. He didn't.
What?
He didn't.
He didn't. It was his friend.
Love that.
Yeah.
But
did we ever determine whether the dad knew? I don't think we did we?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
Oh.
Because I thought it was her dad. I asked the question, did your dad... And she said no.
Right.
It was the Hat Man.
Have you watched it since we were live there?
No.
No, I haven't.
No.
I can't wait to watch that back.
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anyone else to come through other than Sam. Or someone to do with Sam.
True.
That's it.
We
we
were all
thought it was
waiting.
going to be the Sam show, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
All weekend,
Yeah. So that was a great
Yeah.
opener. I can't remember who came after the first spirit, you know? But
I can't.
I don't think it was Sam. I don't remember.
Sam did come through the first night, but then he bobbed straight back out, didn't he?
Yes, that does ring a bell.
He bobbed in and then it went on to something else, and we were all a little bit like,
Yeah.
I think it might have been another... Boris!
No, that was second night.
I think that was second night.
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, because I remember Sue saying on the second night that she can't go home thinking that... Sam came through and he told us that he'd brought Ursula back on the first night. And Sue said she couldn't go home thinking that a spirit can... Like,
bring
we can pass
back.
a spirit over
Yeah.
and then they can bring them back. So... I think it was the second night Boris came through and said that she was okay, and that we had two spirits looking after us, and we didn't realise at that time.
It was another man.
I think it was a man. I'm just drawing a blank.
Was it that someone who claimed to be Samael, and we didn't know if it was Sam or not?
That's what it was.
Could have been.
The demon supposedly.
Yeah.
And Samael
And
it was,
Ash and...
So is that the night? Was that the night we did do Estes method both nights?
We did it
then?
both
she did both
nights.
nights.
Yeah, so that's what it will have been. We will have changed to going
Yeah.
upstairs. I think you and I took it in turns.
Yeah.
And
That would be the first night
Samael-
where you were facing out the window, were you?
No, I was right by the door of the bedroom. But I know that night you had Ash come through and on Estes method, and then you were saying Sarah, and somebody got in touch and said this Ashmanai, or however you pronounce it, his wife was Sarah in some sort of, I don't know if it's the Bible or I don't know, and that he's a demon and she's his lover or something. I didn't read too much more into it, but things that you were saying on Estes method did marry up to a demon.
Right.
So, and then was it that night you got Chris Whitehouse?
I can't remember which night that was, but yeah.
It's all blurred into one, hasn't it now?
Yeah.
It was one long investigation for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, hearing things like that, you think, well, that's not in necrophonic. Necrophonic is many things.
Yeah.
Predetermined words for sure, because that's all it does. Without you being in the room, it would still do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you hear things like that?
The first night, was that not the night you got scratched and you possessed? That's when you said, I'll go up and
I'll let you possess
you
me.
offered yourself up, wasn't it?
And it felt like someone was trying to get in my back.
You back.
Yeah, I remember.
That was the first night,
That was a weird experience, and I think we're not vulnerable enough to be possessed. I personally believe that a spirit has to attach to you and spend a lot of time, putting negativity into your life before it can possess you. I don't think you can go into a house, and even if you've been there before, and sit there and say, possess me.
It's
I
like
don't.
It's got to get into your mind before it gets into your body.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got to oppress you. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Before it can do that. I think somebody who's maybe weak, or struggling with the mental health or something, I think they latch on to people that are struggling with things and not that people struggling with mental health are weak, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They have other things going on
Yeah.
and like negativity attached to it, and then they can just make it 10 times worse, I think. So I didn't have any issue saying possess me, but I do feel like something was trying to.
Yeah, it seemed like that.
It did seem that way because I felt it felt like something was on my back trying to. It's really weird, but like behind me, trying to get into me through my back, and it was hard to breathe.
Yeah.
There's quite a few times when I was watching you on the
On the
CCTV that you literally just went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that trying to breathe? Is that,
Yeah.
It was almost like when I was watching it. Have you seen a Ghost? Where Sam comes into a body and her dress goes like, ooh.
Oh,
like
a bit
it
like
just
that. Imagine.
it reminded me of that kind of a point, which is why the first time you did it is when I said ask if if they had, because it was just that you were just like almost like
like something over came.
and you did that 3 different times. I think it were over the course of while I was watching.
I was definitely open to it, so I don't know why it didn't happen. Like I say, it's probably because people protecting us. I do believe that. And when they first said that there were 2 spirits protecting us on that first night, I honestly thought it would be maybe Janet and Ruth, something like that. I never for one second thought that Sam was actually looking out for us.
Yeah, because Janet, being one of the Pendle witches famous around this area, you seem to have come through on your separate. Well, as bleeded over into our groups.
Yeah.
But that's definitely one for you because you're from that area. Makes sense. It's a very interesting thread. I'd like to investigate more down. But Ruth, we met around near us, and she was absolutely lovely from day one.
Yeah.
Again, was really, Sam takes all the credit, but Ruth, she was the first one to follow us to different locations, I think.
She was.
And she has proved, by answering questions, telling us about ourselves and proving to us that she was really strong.
Yeah.
Do you think that part of the information she's given over the last 12, 18 months has actually almost made you more prepared to go to Sam's?
Well, I think it was her that told us to go away and seek knowledge and Ganesh and stuff like that. Can't quite remember. I think she came through when Sam came through this again to us.
I think you've got to look at, if you look at it on the flip side, it's like Sam's been trying for 3-4 years to intimidate, to scare, to do whatever. He's told us, do not come to my house, all the blah, blah, blah. He's give it, he's certainly taught the talk, hasn't he? And we still went. So is the kind of like flip side of it. He's actually there gone, well, fair play, guys. Got to give you some respect now, kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the weekend, potentially, he is protecting us. Has all that come out of our stubbornness to not let him have his own way?
I think he's learnt lessons just like we have.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because from what he said to us at the weekend, I honestly believe that he thought that he would get power from evil, and that's the road that he'd gone down in whatever realm he's in. But he's realised that through Ruth, I think, that actually there's more power in the light, in good.
I was supposed to mention, so leading up to night 2, Ruth and Sam had always been at odds. Ruth was always around Sam and they were tussling when we'd talk.
Yeah.
And she was looking out for us, but said eventually, the last thing we heard from her was how exhausted she was with him. And starting night 2, we didn't know what to expect. There was even the expectation that nothing would happen, if you remember.
Yeah.
We were like, this might be really disappointing. Which is a good area to start. But if you remember, I sat down at the board and I said, look, we thank you for letting us into your home. And I said, you've given us great activity, and we all chipped in with compliments.
We got the footsteps then.
We did.
Up the wall, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the three footsteps.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing those again. And then, so welcoming Sam, and then Ruth seemed to come through dancing on your board planchette. I remember that. And it was like, where have you been, Ruth? You know? Oh, Sam was away yesterday, pretty much. And after praising him, if you remember, we were checking how is he feeling. He's agitated or whatever it said. And then after the praise, she said he's mellowed. And I can't remember exactly what progressed from there.
Well, when we got onto your board, we kind of like, that's when we asked for the proof of where we'd been with everybody as well.
To validate what we knew. Yeah. And then I think he was the one saying there are demons around.
Yeah. And
it was like, what, are you the demon? You know what I mean? Are you the demon? Because we'd had that with him before. Now, our view of demons, it's just a word. I mean, you have said, when demon comes through from any spirit, we just roll our eyes. It's kind of boring. If Satan and 666 come through, it's just like, oh, come on, that is so old.
Yeah.
You know? Then seemed to be well, okay, then, if demons are following us around and you're not them, can you protect us and help us out? And it seemed to be, over that night, a friendship,
He has mellowed, hasn't he? I mean, I think I remember the last time I spoke to him on the board. I've kind of almost having a bit of jovial banter with him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like he has almost become part of the team, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, it's like we've gone through, we don't want it to be the Sam show whenever we open a board up. But then when he's not there, it's like, what he's up to today.
Yeah. He brings you know, he does bring evidence with him, doesn't he? And there's been some occasions where we've thought, is it Sam? Nah, there'd be more stuff kicking off if it was. But he seems, I don't know, hopefully we get to speak to him again and he stays with us and stuff and we can ask him about...
I think we'll get more out of him now, kind of thing. I think it will become more knowledge from him.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit like you had with Ruth. I do think he will become more of like a guide to that side. Yeah. Almost.
Yeah, because when
I don't know.
When he speaks, he gives good information, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So we could find, if he's talkative, we could find some good things out.
Yeah.
So, to dip in before how the night 2 culminated, you and I did a rituals night where we were trying to debunk all the nonsense, the pencils, Charlie, Bloody Mary and things like that. We drew a pentagram, we lit candles, we opened Ouija boards, did anything we did.
Put like negative symbols on balloons even, just to see if the spirits would pop them because they were mad or something. We tried all sorts, didn't we?
Yeah. And it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And people were watching and going, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're just showing it's nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the aim of it.
It was.
And ever since then, if you remember, we went to the cinema that's not been released, that footage yet, but a spirit in there was like, get her out of here. She's got a black mass around her. It didn't seem to like that. And then doggy daycare, possibly a demon in the cellar. 2 demons, which tallied up. And you get the most rude, obnoxious spirits for half an hour. And if you wear them down, because we refuse to budge, they're like, yeah, all right. Yeah. It's me, Mark. I would just...
Well, that's Sam, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Trying to... But I always say this. When I do investigations, like away from the team, just with 1 or 2 other people that are interested in it, and like 666 comes through on the board, or Zozo, or a demon, whatever, and they start to panic, and I say, no, don't, because what would you do if you were a ghost and you saw these people sat there like, you know, you'd be like, demon,
of course you would,
devil, Satan, wouldn't you? I do think that's what we've discovered, is that it's usually that. And like you say, we wear them down until eventually they go, all right, my name's David and I died in a car crash and I'm 19, and because that happened at Black Diamond Mills.
It did.
So, do we believe in demons?
Well, we have the question of how it ended, the night 2, when you were doing SD's method upstairs, well, we were all doing it, but using the screen share, and we're sat around, and your voice seemed to change when Sam's saying demons are coming, and we said, well, can you protect us? Can you and Ruth protect us? And he seemed to be like, yeah, I will. But it's at times that what you were getting through necrophonic into your ears was as you portrayed a darker voice which seemed to match with the ones not liking us, and then you'd switch to Sam and laughing at them and Ruth dancing, and then it said, draw across, they're coming, and we held our hands in a circle, and I was not knowing what was going to happen, and I thought, well, like I had to do in the past, I have to be the voice of us, and when fear spreads, it spreads quick, so it doesn't matter how I feel, I have to be the one to start us all going, you didn't even witness this, but you'll be there to say, I was like, the light, I believe in the light, I trust in my team, we'd all held hands, so there was a security, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But then when I broke that to do a cross, put it on the table, and tell us about your view when there was a change in the atmosphere and Becky was saying she felt something. What were you thinking at that point? Be honest if you thought it was nonsense or...
I'm thinking... What the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
But not what am I doing here. It's like... It was almost like I don't want it to sound bad, but it was like, really?
Yeah. Did you?
Did it feel a bit cheesy?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Right, you have to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So you, the way that it all tied up with you thought, because Becky she was pretty freaked when she got touched in the back.
Yeah.
And you said you got felt a breath, and I was definitely feeling.
Yeah, we definitely felt something on his hands without a doubt.
Yeah, and
there was definitely something on his hands
when
at that
Lucy was
point.
saying.
But yeah, I worry a little bit. I have to admit.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
because I don't know how to.
And it's like with the cross thing. It was really interesting. Don't get me wrong. Like it's like you were like draw a cross and right, okay, and everybody like right, okay, and it's like I think you said who or something.
Yeah, that's right.
And your voice changed and you just went anyone, and it was it was a little bit like then. A bit Ben Hill kind of thing, because it's like we're on the bar going and he's running around trying to get the paper and a cross kind of thing, and I'm like, what?
It's just weird because I had no idea there was any, like, obviously I was aware of like this stuff going on.
Yeah, you were saying it. That.
But I wasn't aware that something was like brewing downstairs as well. I didn't know that it was like.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's because of like that of like what or have I taken away from the weekend? Did I try and distance myself because I didn't want anything to happen? Almost, I don't know. I have questioned it quite a bit since, but I don't. Just in that moment, I was like,
yeah.
I just the rest of it, talking to Sam, Norma. You can't, you can't get away from it. And that, but just at that point, I was like, maybe because I don't, I ain't gone down that line. I don't fully understand it all.
No.
And that point, I'm looking like,
Yeah, I think to me, watching it back, and then what happened like afterwards, we went to York Minster and we said a prayer with our hand on the pillar.
Which we were told to do.
Which we were told to do. I think for me and Chris, I think you'll agree with me, it kind of humbled us a little bit, because we did go down the road of, in a way, I think we wanted to see if we could get more evidence out of demons, and we weren't scared.
Because we didn't believe in them.
Yeah. And so we were quite silly doing that, so I think it humbled me, definitely. It's made me veer more towards the light than the dark. Or back to the middle, maybe.
If that's my experience of it, on the back of you two being the two of like doing the messing in the first place, what's your experience of it, of that bit? Did you think there was something in it? Or...
When you were saying in your more grumbly way, I'm on him.
Yeah.
I'm on him. And I could feel at that moment the temperature drop on me.
Yeah.
Becky feels his touch, and then I'm feeling breathing on my hands, which you also felt, because I was holding your hand.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to take, and I don't know, because with Sam, we never got to that resolution.
Yeah.
We had to leave, and I'm thinking, I don't want to repeat that.
No.
What if this is going to go on and on and on, and we're going to have to leave, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was so glad when you, Sam, said, it's over, basically, you know, it's done.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, right, just close down, stop you communicating that way. But yeah, without that cold, I would have been like, nothing would happen.
Would you question
with
as well?
the cold, with the cold, and with the communication being so clear, I was open, and I was like, okay, maybe not demon in any religious content, but I want to get to the word exactly, what to find out what that exactly means, but something what's not just a normal spirit, something that, an energy that we conjured up through our intention, which I'm a big believer of.
Yeah.
There was something, I don't know, I can't quantify what it was, but I think we created something, and that something, through Sam convincing us that we were battling it, released it.
So going back to the flip side of 4 years ago, where you said it was one person's fear potentially that heightened everybody, do you think there was a potential that was the intention for that Saturday night, that kind of maybe what Lucy was saying was to heighten your fears, and if your fears went, then that'd probably set me and Becky definitely off.
What do you think? What are you trying to say? That Sam were trying to scare us?
So
straight.
You know, was the an intention of like, you won't stay here again? I can do it again. I can get rid of you again.
But he did the opposite. He was the nice one, wasn't he? Well, he was helping us out. Wasn't he?
I do think from my experience of hearing what was coming through, I really do think that Sam was given. He was put in a situation where he had to decide which side he was going to fight for. Would it have gone differently if he'd have been like, you know, I'm
feeling on the other way? Yeah.
It maybe probably. I think it probably was, because he's a very strong spirit. But I don't know. I do think intention is everything, like you say, Chris. I think we intentionally summoned something.
Yeah.
I don't think we can explain it any more than that.
No.
I felt.
Think it again?
No, not anytime soon. No.
I wouldn't.
No. And I think, like, for me personally, since we did that, I was very, like, quite depressed at home, and just felt like a weight on me that actually after York this time, I haven't felt.
Yeah.
I feel much more comfortable at home. I don't feel like there's anybody else there, which I think is interesting. I sleep a lot better. I'm not as anxious. I don't know. That could be just...
It's all psychological.
And the weird side is that I think we all slept better that second night as well after that had happened, even.
Yeah, we did.
You know, so there was the side of like, it had happened but it didn't unnerve anyone almost.
Yeah. I know that when I walk through the night now to the toilet or whatever, and I get that, ooh, who's lurking in the dark, then I remember that I'm friends with this guy in the dark. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So I'm actually not aware of anything to be scared of.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything wants to scare me, come on, I'll send you over to my big brother here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm actually, my fears are reset to none.
Yeah.
Literally. I'm like, I've got backup on
Yeah.
your side and on this side.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I'm changed. But how it's changed me as an investigator would be, I will not be doing the come on, scratch me. That's like walking into a house and saying, come on, punch me in the face.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Who says that? That's something an idiot says.
Antagonising something.
Whereas I'm going to go in with like we always went in with the respect.
Yeah.
I always laid out that we're coming in respect, we're coming in friendship.
Yeah.
But then to say we're happy for someone to scratch us, it's a mixed message. Now, if I walk into somewhere respectfully and friendly and try and make friends with the spirit in a positive way, which I think is the better way, then get scratched, deep down I'm thinking good evidence.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be asking for violence.
No.
Now, how differently would the second night have gone had I not said, Sam, I really respect you, thanks. And we'd have said, come on then.
We're here now.
Do your best.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I don't think the night would have transpired the same.
No.
You know, whether the psychology would have done that. You know.
Yeah.
Would it have been worse? Sort of if the demon thing came up. We wouldn't have got freaked out by a demon because we're not freaked out by the word demon. I think the way that it happened, that it was strange how it happened. The fact is that we independently got these names the night one, and then night two, Sam's saying, yeah, those two are the things. It's like, we've been told these supposed demons are following us, and these are the names, and there's a story thread which is, you know, new to us, and then we're going to fight these demons. You as a team, be strong, and it was all telling off then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, you two never ever do that again. Yeah. Symbols have power or something like that. It was the pentagrams or the things on the. So again,
strength in the light or something, weren't they? So.
Yeah. Sam had sort of said the strength in the light. Now we judge Sam as not a completely negative energy.
I know even when he's had the negativity over the years, we've kind of liked him, haven't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've never
Deep down we have.
Yeah.
We've liked him.
Yeah.
But, we wandered into his house and literally faced him head on, and we rescued a spirit from under him, which is rude.
Yeah.
It is.
No wonder he was pissed off with us.
Yeah.
We literally went in and then crossed over two spirits.
Yeah.
Ursula and Violet.
Yeah.
And, you know,
and then
messed up.
tried to banish him with no belief. I had no intention. I was just like, I read it out.
Yeah.
I don't really believe in it.
Yeah.
So, and I wondered at the time, do I believe in it? I thought, well, I've got to give it a go. And he's like, what was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. And so, again, intention.
It was naive of us, I think, to think that we can go in somewhere, experience something negative, get rid of it, get rid of everyone else, done.
Yeah.
And I think
high five and walk out.
Yeah.
It's very silly to think that you can do that.
Yeah. Whereas all the things before, the problems we've had we'd be settled in a compromise. And I kept offering compromise. He wouldn't take it. And fair enough, that's his prerogative.
Yeah.
So then he's hassling us, don't come back. Where's Ursula? We're like, we don't know. We sent her over. We don't really know what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. It's not that any of us are skilled in crossing people over. We were just pie in the sky. I guess, would describe it. Open a doorway, see someone come through to you, and there's one less spirit then, or two less spirits.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not something that can be quantified, is it?
No.
But our intentions hopefully changed, and then he seemed to mellow as we were saying, well, thank you for letting us here. You've done great. Again, putting out positivity, bore more fruits than provoking.
Yeah, I mean, the whole time we were there, we weren't antagonising, weren't we, or anything, you know.
No.
We had also gone with the fact of, you know, it was just a weekend away as a group as well.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You know, we weren't there to, you know, we didn't walk in there all bullshit, did we? Right, come on then, do your worst. Just screw it yours, see what you can do, kind of thing. You know, we haven't walked in with that. And I think the fact that Friday night, he was hardly there.
Yeah.
Probably posed more questions, I think, for Saturday, you know, than anything else. Like, all right, well, we've come as a year, kind of thing, you know. And I thought, you know, for a 5-year-old child to enter the property of this such a bad man as kind of like he's portrayed all the time, that kind of almost set me a little bit at ease. I'm thinking, do you know what I mean? There's got to be a mellow of him. Are we actually getting through to him? Are we making ways more like, you know, a bit more on each other's level than him thinking he, you know, is this deity to us all? Because if you think back, we'd have been a little bit cautious of a child entering his domain.
Yeah.
Say 3-4 years ago. You know, so I think the fact of Friday night,
and she felt comfortable to talk
playing
to
out
us
how
there.
it did, kind of made me probably a little bit more relaxed for the second night as well.
Because between the first meeting and the second meeting, we've had Sam push people off the board.
Yeah.
And people have said, the nasty man, I don't like, and they wouldn't go near him.
Exactly.
And you said, well, Sam's let a little girl come through if he's around.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, it did seem... if it was all going to kick off again, like it did do before, like he's been don't come to our house, it did hit me on the Friday night. Why is this little 5-year-old feel all right in here?
Yeah.
And if she must feel all right and she can see that side, then why shouldn't we almost, kind of thing?
Yeah. So, takeaways from the experience. Jill, we'll start with you because I feel like you're probably going to say the least. Did you learn anything? Did you have
anything?
Yeah? No more questions? Do you think we you touched on us maybe deluding ourselves a bit?
Yeah.
So you're no more convinced?
No?
That's good. That's good. You've got to have your own.
Not
path.
even like because I keep going back to the fact of all this happened on the Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I still keep bringing it into my head. But you were given footsteps.
Yeah.
Well, who knows what else we've got until we watch it?
And on any normal night would have been like, yeah. Do you know, that's really... And it was just overshadowed.
Yeah.
Completely. By what happened. So I keep trying to take myself back to probably early Saturday night, that first hour, before it all kicked off. And probably more Friday night for me, I think.
Yeah.
And I felt emotionally touched on Friday night.
Yeah.
And I think, I know it sounds bad as a team member, but I think, they've got to be the bits for me. Maybe, like I said, because I'm not sure on, and I feel like whatever we do, well, I'm not as sure on that as you guys and things like that. Yeah. And because I didn't feel threatened.
No.
I didn't feel unnerved. I didn't feel... there was definitely a draft, but I didn't feel cold. I didn't feel unsafe or anything. That I think I just took it in my stride.
Yeah, but of a steady carry on.
Yeah. A little bit maybe like the tubes at doggy daycare, because I was convinced they were separate and they'd just fallen over. To me, it was like another noise, move on.
Another false alarm.
Yeah. Almost. So I think I took more probably from Friday night getting the report from Si.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're the one not on the board, if you can feel like your input is coming from a different way, whereas I was almost like I was giving the questions side of it. Not leading, that's wrong, because I don't feel like I'm leading anything.
No. You weren't.
But to be able to almost supply the questions to give the evidence that you can actually turn around and go, right, okay, well, Boz just said that. If you all want to turn round, I can say this to you.
Yeah.
I think I got more out of that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, from that side. The building didn't do anything for me.
No.
It didn't suppress me, or anything. I didn't feel weird in any way, shape or form. There was unexplained knocking at 2 a.m, and yes, I was still chatting away at 4:10 because I didn't want to go to sleep. But then not things I'll take with me from it, almost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was Friday night, and if anything, more important part of Saturday night for me was the knocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, to be reviewed yet.
Yeah.
So, Lucy, what was your takeaway? What did you learn? What did you remember?
Well, I certainly learned not to try and summon a demon again.
Is that one off your bucket list?
Yeah. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
I would, if I could go back, would we do it again? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that sounds probably a bit daft. But I do also think, and it ties into what you've just said, is I think there's two different kinds of evidence. I think there's evidence that you can, sure, like, okay, this is the article, this is, you know, she wasn't on the board, we were, and she's asking the questions and they were right.
And there's
that.
I think as well, sorry, jump in, on that side where there was people on the camera going, yeah, whatever, you know, how fake's that?
Yeah.
But actually...
That is good enough for me.
Being in the moment,
exactly.
That nobody else other than us five have got.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, even though Si was like, great, you know, I feel... Even Si, unfortunately, didn't get what we felt, what we got out of that little bit. Yeah.
I think there's that side of evidence, and it's great to get evidence like that. I think there's also another element of evidence, which is your journey. Yes. And I think because we went down a darker path alongside everything else, because we've still carried on doing our normal investigations, I think it's almost like you've got to be there every step of the way to understand it. So people who tuned in just on that probably felt a bit of what you were feeling, like, what the f*** do it? Like this is cheesy, this is like, you know, a bad horror film. You know, I can understand why people would watch it and think, you know, all that. But to me, I've learnt such a big lesson from that, and I know that to me that is evidence 100%, because the way that I felt since we summoned the demon or whatever, and then that being completely lifted afterwards, I think that's as good evidence to me and my personal journey as Norma and things like that, or a knock or a footstep. I definitely feel more towards the light than the dark. No shame in admitting that I think that sometimes you probably do get more evidence from the dark side of things. But I don't think it's worth going down that path. And it's also made me think a lot about Ed and Lorraine Warren, because in the last couple of months, me and Colin have watched all the, you know, like Annabelle and The Conjuring and stuff. And you watch it as an investigator, and I think you understand what probably actually happened versus what theatrics they've added in and to make it scary. And I think it's made me understand that they probably experienced things like what we experienced at that last weekend in York. And I think their faith has kept them safe when they're, you know, going into situations where they believe there's a demon or whatever it might be. And it's made me think more about, well, what faith do I have? What do I believe in? And, you know, I'm probably more likely to consider if I believe in God and all, you know, Christianity, and it's made me think about religion a lot more.
Oh, wow.
I haven't, you know, converted or, you know, nothing like that. But it's made me think, with them saying, like, there's strength in the light and things like that, I think there's something in the spirit realm where there's good and there's bad. Yeah. And I think we came very close to the bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, yeah.
Do you not think, though, there's good and bad on the light side as well, though?
No. I think you've got good and bad. I think you've got good and bad, and I think you've got human and inhuman. And I think Sam was a human who was a bad person. Right. And I can say that because of the things that he did. He is what I would class as a bad person, not someone that you'd want to be friends with in life, you know? And so I think he was a negative spirit of someone who had lived. Whereas I think on the dark side, you've got truly evil. But I don't think they're as strong as people think.
I think when you say demon, you're talking properly top of the line, ultimate
evil.
Like
a creature that's never walked this earth, that just thrive. You know, like the Dementors off Harry Potter. I imagine that they look like that, and they just go around absorbing negative energy and then spitting it back out at people and latching on and making everything just shit. That's what I think a demon is, and I think that. But I think you have to sort of attract them or invite them in. So it's made me consider how I live my life, how I might treat people, you know, things like that. I think that has an impact on the other side as well, if that makes sense.
So bad experience has turned into a good one, almost.
Yeah, and I think that's because Sam he has walked this earth, he was human, he did do bad things, there might be reasons for that, and I think that bad can become good on that side of things. I don't think you could turn a demon from a demon into
I agree with that.
a Jesus lover.
Yeah.
I don't think you could. So yeah, that's where it has changed my perception of things, definitely. And I do think there's a definite divide between good and bad.
I've got a much more confident attitude spiritually now. I walk around with this image of myself as I could walk into a spooky cellar, imagine not just a protective light, but a golden shield of, you have to get through this before, you know what I mean, I have the strength of my team, just an inner confidence and a spiritual, like there's people behind me. I've got that image. Yeah. Whereas before I'd just be like, with my little camera, like, you could touch me, I'd be like, well, to touch me, yeah, sure, but you don't be put off by these people around me if you're going to come and touch me, because they're on my side. Yeah, like I've got confidence is how I can really...
I agree, yeah.
Yeah. Not cockiness.
Do you feel like we've got any more to learn?
Absolutely. I think we've shown that there's a potential for a lot of the things we don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, when I hear other people's stories now on podcasts and stuff, I'm like, yeah, even though it sounds bizarre and far-fetched, I'm willing to say, all right, I won't just say it's nonsense.
I think that's something I've learned as well. I wish things were black and white, but they're just not. When it comes to the paranormal, and sometimes you've got to listen to those wacky stories that make no sense and go on then, I'll give you the time of day. And once upon a time I would never have, you know, I'd been like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think this is just a side note, I suppose, but it's something that I've thought about a lot since the weekend. We use equipment, and you can put like the thermometer thing we were using, you can put that there, and it'll tell you the temperature's warmer, colder. And you could put two of those devices next to each other and they'd both say the same thing. So I think we've got good equipment as a team. I think what I'm interested in now as well is I'd love to get two psychics, mediums, in a room who don't know each other, who haven't spoken to each other beforehand, and say, right, we're going to use you as a piece of equipment. How many spirits are there here? And the answer separately, you know, and... Because to me...
So they almost like write it down as if they were back to back or something.
Yeah, and just like...
So they wouldn't know what each other was saying.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I'm willing to give a chance to, even though I don't believe anybody can see and communicate with ghosts the way that they say that they can, where they're like, oh, there's an old lady stood there, her name's Jean, and she's 67 and she's wearing this. I think that's one area of the paranormal that I'm open to, but I want convincing. And like I say, I'd love to get two mediums in a location and they write down. Because to me, I'm not going to be convinced on mediums unless they both write exactly the same things down.
What?
See, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm the other way. Because I had done that side before I kind of met you as a team.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can very much go and have gone to many and gone, how do they know that?
Yeah.
How do they know that? Do you know what I mean? And I've been in a room with 30, 40 people and they all use different ways and means of getting to the right people. Some can just go, I'm talking to you. And others can go, I've got somebody here whose name begins with an E or something, and they all work down to the same point differently. Yeah. But when actually you, and because since I've done this and done that, I'll be like, right, well, talking to that person, but does that relate to me? Could I take that? Could I take that?
Yeah.
Could I take that? And you do get some of it, that it's totally generic. But you might just get that 2 or 3 snippets that do make you walk away thinking, how did they know that?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So yeah, I'm probably maybe more a believer of that.
Yeah.
Then I'm Sam, nice to meet you almost.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's what's interesting. It's we've all come from different places, haven't we? And at different times. Yeah. And I think it's good that we all have different views on things, because someone else could say to us, all right then, you go on a Ouija board in that corner, you go on a Ouija board in that corner, and you're going to demand that this spirit goes and tells you one thing and you another thing, back to back.
Yeah.
Would it happen? I don't know, because then we could say, yeah, but it take a lot of energy to do that, you know, and that's what a medium might say.
Yeah.
And we can't poo-poo that if...
No.
So, yeah, but I do think that as a team we have a purpose, and I think we've got a lot more to come, and we're learning. And
But do you think everybody's purpose is in the team then?
what everyone's individually?
Yeah.
Yours, I think, is to get experiences. So it might be a knock, but you have to, like us, you have to exclude everything else.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, yours is an experience like that you can go, right, undeniable, that were a ghost. I think, I don't know. I think I don't know what's next. I don't know what my purpose is. I suppose it's to just open other people's eyes to it and try and give them something that to think about even if they just think about it and believe a little bit more than they did before. Yeah.
Talking about the mediums, in our first couple of years, I used to invite 2 or 3 mediums on, and when I would say, how come you're picking up different things, they would say, because I'm attaching to this time frame and she's attaching to this. It's like, you know, I'm getting the man, and for whatever reason, my ability is picking up the man, but you're picking up the female.
Yeah. And who are we to say?
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So maybe I think something I'd like to toy with, whether it's with the team or, you know, on my own, go to some mediums and just see if I can get something where I go, well, that's not on Google. You know what I mean? Like that's not, because, you know, like when my dad died, there was an article in the newspaper about him. So if I went to a medium and they were like, oh, your dad's name with this, I'd think you could probably find that out.
Yeah.
You know,
Facebook allows you to know all these things.
Yeah.
I'm well up for a medium coming again. And I've always said to them, we don't understand it, we don't necessarily believe it, but we're desperate for it to be true.
Yeah.
Is medium just like a tarot card reading though?
I don't know, actually. There's psychics, mediums, sensitives, there's people who feel things, smell things, see things.
Everyone's got a different...
Clairvoyance and...
clairsentient, clairvoyant.
Yeah.
So, and they shy away from doing it though.
I think we just have to say, you know, we're open to it. We just want to...
The church doesn't agree with what we do.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So, and I suppose a lot of mediums are that side, aren't they? So they're not going to potentially allow both to cross.
Yeah. Interestingly, this is, you know, something we can probably talk about another time, but when I was doing all my investigation into Pendle Hill and speaking to Jenna actually said the name of a local, I don't know whether psychic's the right word, and told me that lady had caught a picture of her on camera. And when I googled it, she is a local medium, and she did take a picture that had something in it. And I thought, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. First, I think she gave me the first name and the last initial. It were Deborah or Denise right. Something. And yeah, so it's just a curiosity, I suppose, that you go through different phases, don't you, of what are you curious about? And I think I'm curious about people who can communicate with the other side. Yeah,
so mediums, hopefully we can get at least some medium interviews done and then invite them on our little adventures. But as I proposed it before, I think it'd be good on this channel to open up to other ghost teams, because there's so many.
Yeah.
And say, let's talk. Present what you've experienced, and I'll see if it mingles with what we've experienced.
Yeah.
And we're all working towards the same thing, and maybe try and get some sort of a web between people, and not be afraid of each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, be like, how can we push each other forward? You're using all that equipment, we question it. We're using this, you question it. But let's see what we can do, you know?
Yeah.
Our main drive is to capture evidence, to share our journey, see our spiritual growth as we learn things and what are we finding out, because that's what I was interested in. But one thing it is not is to convince other people. Yeah. It doesn't. Could tell you 1,000 stories. I hear 1,000 stories. It doesn't change my perspective one bit. I can only formulate my idea of what I experienced.
Yeah.
You can only be on your path of
Yeah.
what you and how you what you experience, not just what you experience, because we've experienced the same things differently. The daycare bangs, but I think it's just about, hey, this is what happened to us. That's the end of it.
Yeah, watch it if you want.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, you do. But going forward, the main drive is still for our personal adventure,
It is.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the actual thing.
Yeah, that's it. It's about our journeys, isn't it?
You know. So hopefully on this channel, get some interviews, talk to some interesting people.
Yeah.
Change our opinion on things.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for watching, and look out for more episodes from us.